There are stars in the southern sky, southward as you go. There is moonlight and moss in the trees, down the seven bridges road.
Come on, Mike Barnacle. Come on, Mike Barnacle. What a group. You hang out with those guys, don't you? I mean, how great are the Eagles?
So good.
Don Henley might be one of the greatest musicians of all time, Joe. And the Eagles, of course, for years, they had the #1 best-selling album of all time, Eagles' Greatest Hits. I don't know whether it's still #1 or not. But, yeah. And, of course, there's also the dude, you know, in the backseat of the cab saying, I hate the Eagles, which was... a one-liner for the ages out of movies. Yeah, I could listen to the Eagles all day long, and let's do it, as a matter of fact.
And that's good. And Willie, of course, the documentary on them is extraordinary to see what Glenn Frey and Don Henley started and all the great musicians that followed along with them. Yeah, just an incredible story.
What a beautiful song. I'm so glad you let that breathe. I was just sitting there. I forgot we were on TV. I was watching that shot and listening to that song. Yeah. Great pull by Q in the control room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And, you know, Willie, it is a great song, and that documentary is a great documentary. Not as great as the documentary on You and Me and Our Escape from Turkey. We're going to talk about that later. Yeah. We're not competing, but, you know, did pretty well at the box office. Not quite as well, though, as Deadpool and Wolverine, which has now crossed the $1 billion mark. And let me tell you something. Little Jack.
Wow.
He's got his Swiss Miss chocolate cocoa out. He's putting on his little German shorts and suspenders, and he's going to run downstairs, and he's going to hear Uncle Willie talk to one of the stars of this extraordinarily successful movie.
Jack goes, what, about 6'3", 215, still wearing the Lederhosen.
Yeah.
He'll grow out of them
235. Yeah.
35.
Yeah, 6'3", 235.
Basically an SEC tight end at this point, but still wearing the knee socks and the Lederhosen on Sundays. And we appreciate that. Well, this is actually an interview that you're going to see later on this show this morning, special just for Morning Joe, which is my interview with Ryan Reynolds. You said it. Deadpool and Wolverine crossed $1 billion at the box office last weekend. By this time tomorrow, probably, or Sunday, it will have become the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time. It passed Oppenheimer last week, and it's about to pass Joker, which had been the highest grossing movie. So Ryan Reynolds and I got together to talk about that, and also something we've shared for the last decade or so, which is his late father and my dad both have Parkinson's disease. So we kind of got to know each other around the Michael J. Fox Foundation, and he's doing some new work around Parkinson's and looking at early warning signs and treatment. So we had a great kind of heart-to-heart conversation about that, and Deadpool coming up in our 4th hour on Morning Joe.
I look forward to
that. Well, that's fantastic. I can't
cool.
wait to watch that. I'll tell you what I can wait to watch,
What?
though.
What's that?
The Red Sox lose again, Sam Stein. What's
Why do they
going
keep
on,
doing
man?
that?
What's going on?
We're just like, you know, stuck in kind of that mediocrity. We're just going to be like, you know, ups and downs. Barnacle knows this. We have stretches where things seem so optimistic, and then we play poorly. I was going to use a different word, but no, it's, you know, this is what I expected. I guess we're, you know, aiming for the 3rd wild card spot at this juncture. We still have a chance, but there it is, 63 and 57. Right. We are stuck in mediocrity.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's a lot better than many of us expected at the beginning of the year. We don't know what's exactly going to happen. I will say, Mike, though, you look at the second half of the season, and we've had a reversal. The first half of the season, our ERA was great, among the best in baseball. Now it's one of the worst. Our hitting was sort of a little below average first half of the season. Second half of the season, we're doing very well. But there is no doubt we keep blowing leads. And you look at the big series, like coming out of the All-Star break against the Dodgers, we really, a good bullpen would have won 2 of those 3 games. Instead, we got swept. You look at our opportunities with Houston. You can look at our opportunities with the Rangers. I mean, we keep blowing games. I'll tell you. And the Rangers game the other night looked more like 2022. That
was
team just
painful.
completely lost it. It was one of the most painful losses of the year.
Yeah. Well, Joe, I mean, you know what the story is. We have a group of young pitchers. Some have more promise than others, but not any of them had ever exceeded the number of innings that they have had to pitch this summer, and they're gassed. They're gassed. Plus, there's the old, ancient Red Sox curse. No matter whether the sun is out or not, no matter whether you're sitting at a ball game, watching the day game or a night game, you know there's a storm cloud above your head. You know suddenly, it's going to rain, it's going to darken, and you're going to get the bad news in terms of reality of baseball.
Coming up, a preview of next week's Democratic National Convention with someone who's covered many of them. Presidential historian and our good friend Doris Kearns Goodwin is our guest. Straight ahead on Morning Joe.